Good morning, everybody. I just thought I'd do an early Dow of the day today. I got my coffee with me, and I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to having somebody on and give me a number between 1 and 81, and let's start this day off right. Let's look at the Dow and let's see what the Dow has to offer us today. There's me sipping my coffee. Hope you got. Oh, look at we got someone gonna give me a number between 1 and 81. And yeah, let's take on our first guest for the morning. Raj,
What's up?
how you doing, man?
Oh man, this freaking stupid notifications somehow brought me into this room, and
Oh no.
I'm so grateful. No, I'm saying, I'm so grateful for that. The notifications didn't click me, didn't have me click join. So
Right,
I'm
right,
very
right.
happy about this very crazy.
You're breaking up, or am I breaking up? Crazy what? You say crazy and then broke up again.
I'm sorry, I was saying we have a crazy random world that's so connected and so many notifications, and yet moments like this, I'm like, okay, surrender and allow and embrace this connected world because here we are listening to the Tao.
Absolutely. So how I do this? Have you joined me? Have you heard this talk? I do this every day.
I have not. This is my first time here, so happy to
Okay,
hear.
so I'll give you a brief. What we do is you give me a number between 1 and 81. I'll read that, and then we'll go through it line by line. We'll talk about how it resonates.
Awesome. So the number that came in is 37.
37. All right, we're going to be reading the Stephen
Oh,
Mitchell
my
trans.
favorite version.
Yeah, it is a
The
wonderful
best.
translation, and so we're going to be going through this. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. This reminds me of your coming on here today. It's like you didn't do it; you just kind of like lived it, and it just kind of happened. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple everyday lives in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. What do you think? Are you with me?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm taking it in and digesting it.
So, any initial thoughts?
It's I think it's recognizing when you talk about resonance, are you saying does this resonate with my truth? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm sure it does in some way, but I'm just asking what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah. I think that my first thought is, wow, I really wish that the Dao De Ching audiobook would be played at the United Nations or something like that. So that's my first thought. I think
Yeah,
that there's a
canon of
lot.
reason. Bring it on. Yeah.
Lot of good things that are in this. And what I'm really hearing is there's an embracing of life and that not trying to control it, but actually surrender to it and then be one with it. That's what I really feel. Like it has me feel inside like, okay, let's let a grip of this steering wheel a little less and flow with life a little bit more. That's really what I'm hearing. Maybe that's what it says in the whole book, but that's what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And like I've had lessons recently just tell me, "Hey, let go of the wheel. This isn't your ride." You know what I mean? This is a ride, and you're here for it, and you're here to experience it, and you're here to allow yourself to be here and allow yourself to receive, which is something that I think this is talking about, and something that I think I might have I'm discovering I might have some issues with. So let's go through this line by line and see what we have to gain. Um, the Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. And for me right now, I think doing is something that I may embrace more than is healthy. And I think and something that I've been working on for the last couple of days is just kind of like this idea of like, how can I how can I not do and just receive the gift of the Tao, right? How can I just receive? Like where can I sit in a space of being receptive to the Tao, right? And to the things, in order for all things to be done, why don't I just sit back and allow those things to be done rather than like act, rather than do, or rather than speak, right? Sit back and allow myself to be in that space. So that's kind of what resonates with me. What's going on in your life that this line is present?
Oh yeah. Oh, my son's in the hospital,
Mm.
and he's been in there for 23, 24 days now. I
Oh,
mean,
I'm
this
sorry
is
to hear.
yeah. Thank you. No, so um, like I literally was there till 6 p.m. and then last night stepdad stayed there, and then I'm gonna be there today's shift, and it's this whole process of back and forth, and we're trying to get control of the situation with the doctors and the medication he's taking, and trying every which way to get control. And mama is too, my
Yeah.
son's mother. And what we have seen is just getting obstacles left and right that we're like, okay, I give up. Like, we clearly don't know more of what to do here. We're sort of in this process of surrendering. So it's like, as much as we've tried to get a grip on the whole situation and control it and shift it and not take this medication and not do this, it's like, oh my God, that attitude and that energy actually has the doctors kind of be on edge around us. And
Right.
that's actually worse for the dude.
Right.
So it's kind of like taking a step back and saying, all right, hold on. Everybody's doing their best. Let's rise up to that. Let's get out of that judgment. And then what does a centered me look like here? And I see that when I come into that centered moment, it shifts the smallest thing. It shifts the smallest thing by not doing. By almost coming into my seat and being for a moment. So that's how
And
I'm
it's
seeing
the
that.
smallest things, right? It is the smallest things that make the biggest difference.
It's the smallest things. It's
It
the
is.
ordinary things.
Yeah. Yeah. And just being able to embrace those. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. I like to look at this as like, because I've read this before, and obviously, but um, if powerful men and women, and when I say powerful men and women, like a parent is a powerful person, right? Like depending on where you are in relation to something else, every person on this planet is a powerful man or woman, or yeah, gender fluid individual, right? Like, is a
Yep.
powerful person, right? Like, if powerful people could center themselves in this idea, then the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. And that's like, you're powerful in your position, and being able to step back and allow the doctors to be powerful in their position, and allow them to not do in the way that they don't do.
It's funny because it says if powerful men and women, and it's like I hear that, right? And like you said, it's relative, right? To
Right.
each role, powerful roles in life, right? If people that were in powerful roles, which is everyone, depending on how they're looking at what they're doing.
Right.
And I also hear it as if I was centered, everything would be fine. And it's maybe sounds a little too self-centered,
Well,
but
everything is, right. Your perception is coming from your mind, so everything
yeah.
is,
So
yeah.
it's so to me, it's like I am the universe, right? We are all the universe, and so
Yep.
in that sense, does it really require all people, or is it really a thought experiment for the listener, for the reader? But really, it's wow. Well, what if I just did that? My world would transform.
Right. And that's the world that you're living in.
Exactly.
How beautiful. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives in harmony and free of desire. I'm going to let you tackle that first.
Yeah, yeah. What I see in that is media how I see it is the media, the popular, the propaganda of control is wanting to always think and have people think that where they are is not in the right spot because you need to change something about your life because that will be the consumerism that gets them paid. So I would say that read it one more time. Read it one more time.
People would be content with their simple everyday lives in harmony and free of desire.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like if you could open up your aperture, your ability to receive all that is in
Mm,
this moment. If you could, if and when
mm,
you open up your
amen.
field to fully receive this moment right here, right now,
Yeah,
oh my God, you would say, oh my God, I am abundant. I'm in a waterfall, a river, a gushing river flowing at me of energy. Why would I need to change this at all? This
that's
is
right.
well, I'm in the Tao. I'm
That's
in
right.
the stream of life. I am the stream. Why would I change anything? Right? And it's the centering. If when people could center themselves in this, it's like people are content here because they actually have truly embraced what life is, which is beyond it's beyond what they're thinking in that one moment, but it really does require that sitting back. And if you sit back in your seat, you don't have as much of a control and reactivity of the wheel, right?
Right.
It requires trust.
Yeah, and I love there's interesting. The word isn't in here, but we've used it a number of times. This idea of receiving, like you are receiving this life. This is a gift, and for me, I know, and from your explanation of like this idea of control and doing, we step in to do way too much. All we have to do is sit back and receive, and it's going to be okay. And I think like I'm definitely guilty of trying to do because I have a feeling, I have feelings that I'm not enough, or I have feelings that I'm not doing enough, or I'm not achieving enough, or whatever. And to be able to step back from that and to just live my life. And it doesn't mean that like an everyday life is going to be different depending on where you're coming from, right? Like it's going to be relative. And so when we say simple everyday lives, that doesn't mean bad, or it doesn't mean boring, or it doesn't mean any of those things, right? Just like free of wanting something more, free of like not that you don't strive to do more, but it's like you are content right now in this moment, in this life as it is, and you are not
I,
trying to fill it with stuff.
I'm what I'm. I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, I'm really hearing that we're 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, if we're going to look at it from a time standpoint,
right.
so we're still our bodies, our life is essentially living, right?
Hmm.
So not synonymizing living with doing, right? So what is doing? If living is living and doing is something else on top of living, it's almost like doing is focusing in and not taking it all in,
Right,
right? It's
right.
actually a tunnel vision maybe when you do. You're
Yes,
choosing to focus in on something, and it's almost like being discerning about when you choose to focus in and why you're choosing, and is the fuel in which you are being catalyzed right in this moment, is that fuel coming from something is not right now and needs to
right.
be changed,
Or
or
fear of the future, or regret from the
yes,
past, or whatever. Like all of those things are kind of fueling this like focus.
exactly. And then that is taking and stealing the presence, the gift, the life, right? Because
Absolutely.
the present of the gift is when that present moment is fully experienced.
Yeah.
And when it's not experienced, it's like you're opening up one gift, but you're looking at the next gift that the next guest got you, or you're opening up the next gift while you're looking at what they got you before, and you're never actually enjoying the unwrapping of the gift right in front of
Yeah, you can't even enjoy receiving it. The last two lines here, the last two lines here are when there is no desire, all things are at peace. And I think that speaks for itself. Thank you so much for joining me, Raj.
you.
Jesus,
Thank
this was
you.
beautiful.
Appreciate you, Martin, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I think I've gone through that chapter a couple times before, but I'm really grateful for Raj coming up and picking 37 and us going through it. It was really poignant for me, and it sounds like it was poignant for him. Do you have a number? I got a pen in my mouth. Do you have a number between 1 and 81 that you'd like to explore with me? I'd love to have you on. This is a platform where I just have you come on, pick a number between 1 and 81. If you don't want to come on, I'll pick one and I'll run through the Tao. Raj picked 37, and we talked all about this space of being able to receive. This is something that I've been honestly struggling with, but it's been a cycle in my life where, like, allowing myself to receive has been difficult. And that's something that I'm now focused on looking at. And so we'll see if I pick a number, what we're going to get. 20 keeps coming up to me. So I'm going to go ahead and, ooh, man, this is a good one. This is a long one. So sit back, relax, and let's start this number 20. It's probably perfect. Let's see what she's got to say. Stop thinking and end your problems. Yes, that's a good start to every day. I should just write that. I need to tattoo that on my forehead. So when I look at myself in the mirror, which I don't do that often, but stop thinking and end your problems. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like the infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about, like someone without a home. I am like an idiot. My mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breast. That's huge, right? I do see myself as living differently than others, and I hope you do too. I don't strive to be like others. And I really embrace who I am. Yet I do have to take in this first line really deeply, this stop thinking and end your problems. It's so often that I find myself, you know, overdoing the thinking bit. I it's not to say I can't allow things to be, but I do think quite a bit. What difference is there between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? I love that because these are two sides of the same coin. On each of these, and everything can give you the same, right? Like a no and a yes, there's no difference there. It's just what is going to transpire in the manifestation. Like beyond that answer. Must you value what others value and avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. I always said that. I always enjoyed doing things that other people didn't like doing. Maybe that was, it wasn't necessary to torture myself, but it was definitely a way to, distinguish myself from others. I mean, when I look at my history, like my sister was very much, you know, part of the populace. And so to be different, I push myself to be uncomfortable. Even today, like I do things that keep me uncomfortable so I understand the feeling of discomfort. And when it comes about naturally, I don't hesitate to embrace it. I don't hesitate to try and be there. This is one of my favorite lines in the Tao. Other people are excited as though they were at a parade. And I love utilizing that line. I love looking at that line. Other people are excited as though they're at a parade. People run around like screaming and happy and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not going to say I'm somber. But like here's like the next line is, I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless. I mean, I remember like even being like stoic as a child. And maybe that's not good, right? Maybe that put me in a position of like, you know, uh, being programmed, because I needed to get back at other people, right? Instead of showing my emotion, I played it cool, and there were points in my life where like I had learned that, well, if I show that I like something, it's going to get taken from me, right? Like this happened to me when I was like 7 years old, and it's something that programmed me to hide my emotions, which and I was talking earlier about receiving. It really prevents me from receiving. And so yeah, I love that I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. First of all, I don't know much about the babies, but it is, they must be really young because like I think they smile pretty early. I don't know, but I do like that. I like the idea that like, hey, this isn't going to take me one way or another, and we look later. What's the difference between yes and no? Or from earlier, right? Like, what's the difference between yes and no? And that is, the embracing of those opposites. That's the embracing of those two sides. Drake is going to join us now, and we'll come back to 20. If Drake has a number for us, and we'll see. Drake, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Doing really well. Talking about some of the Tao Te Ching today. So this is a program where I ask people to come up with numbers and we talk about the Tao. Did you have something to talk about with what I was reading?
What does the Dow tell you about this app?
What does the Tao tell me about the Tao?
What does the Dow tell you about Deo, the founder of the app?
The Tao doesn't tell me anything about Deo. Tao tells me about living.
Oh, okay. How do you like this app?
How do I like the app? I enjoy the app. I enjoy coming on and speaking about and doing my DAOs and other things like that, and having individuals and having connections with people. I mean, the app is just a manifestation for the connection, so I enjoy the
What if
connection.
I told you that? What if I told you that Dow is a racist against black people?
The DAO?
No, Deo, the creator, the black woman, the
Oh,
creator of
the
the app.
creator is racist
What?
against black people.
Yeah. What if I told you that? Would you believe me?
I would think that you're not speaking about the Tao Te Ching. I wouldn't not believe you. I don't there's no like
If the founder of this app was racist against black people, would you use this app?
if she was racist against, it would, like, I would have to, like, I can't answer that question. I am not in a position to be able to answer that question
I
in
studied
a
the
way
town.
that
I
I
studied the
would
town.
be.
I studied the town. I believe it. Have you ever heard of Way No Way?
No.
It's in From the Art of War. The Art of War is connected to the Tao, right?
Okay, yes,
Yes.
yes.
I practice something called Way No Way. Do you know what that means?
I don't know what it means that you practice it. No.
Well, I've been living by it. I'm a bamboo flutes craftsman. I studied something called a kubagani. It's African Shaolin. You know, Shaolin
I
Kung
did
Fu
not
actually
know.
comes from Africa. Did you know that?
I did not.
So it means
So
you can
I'm gonna
survive.
stop you right here. I'm gonna ask you, do you have a number for me to read of the Tao Te Ching?
I wanted to talk about the way. and I want
I
to talk about
understand. I
justice.
understand. We
Justice.
will talk about one of the chapters of the Way of the Tao if you
Well,
give me
I'm
a
gonna leave.
number.
I just wanted you. You know, my energy drew me to, and you have somebody in here, Daniel, that I respect a lot. My energy drew me to this room, and I'm spreading a message of love, and the message is of truth, and truth is in everything,
Yep.
and so the message of being way no way. Look it up. It's hard to find. Most people don't understand way no way. And I'm gonna leave you, but I'm gonna leave you with the message that the founder of this app is harassing me and preventing my voice. And I love these voice technologies. I'm on all the voice apps that I can find. I was on this app on the day one, and when I found out there was a black woman, I was so supportive because people, all people, I don't believe in color. Actually, I think color is an illusion. You can't see blackness. White people are black, and black people aren't even black. We're all essentially the same color. Pigment of skin has no relation to your blackness. So and that's why one of the people in this room calls me brother. I call him brother. That's neither here nor there. But in our world, in our human physicality, we do see blackness. But I really see love and hate, and I'm getting a lot of hate from this Dayo, and I just wanted to make you aware of it because this is a very small
Okay.
app, and I want your message to be heard. And just remember, your message can be heard anywhere. It can be heard in silence. It can be heard in a loud room. So we have to be very careful on these platforms. Just as Facebook turned into Meta, they're creating these metaverses where we're going to treat people like video games. We shoot them, block them. You know, my devices are being blocked now. I have 100 iPhones though, so it's going to be kind of
Whoa.
hard to block them.
that's
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm saying. But
that's an
they're
investment,
actually
son.
no. I'm a millionaire. But here's the thing. But
Oh well,
they're
kill it, man.
right.
Yeah, like
But
I
they're
wouldn't worry about Dio. You got your shit. That's
well, no,
all
I'm
good.
not worried about her. What I'm worried about is the fact that when I support a black woman just because she's black, and then I find that she's not conscious, it's the consciousness that concerns me. Like for example, the slave trade wasn't about black people; it was about making money. You know, so
No,
now
I
you have very horrible black people, and it seems like the consciousness is now in the white people now, where we call them white, but we're all just people. But it's funny because you know, like we'll have a verdict come out and Kyle Rittenhouse and things of that nature. We'll probably get a small thing, and then people say, "Oh, it's because he's white." No, it's because just the truth is the truth, and everything else will fall to the side. So
Drake,
enjoy this app.
I'm always open to reading information. If you could DM me
No,
on.
because I can't stay on this app long enough, even though
No,
I
no,
have
no,
a
no.
good
Don't stay
iPhone.
on this app. I'm talking about
No.
just like going on Instagram and DM me like a link, and I'd be happy to check that out. And
Right. Well,
if that
I have an app coming out, and it's called Air Yoda. And so,
okay,
if,
great. You know, like
remember the words Air Yoda. You can't forget it. And it's going to be free, and it's going to be peaceful, and people will not be treated like slaves, and they will be respected. You know, you would have to do something very severe for me to block your device, your IMEI number, and you know, it's you know, basically, it's just a shame how black people run around nowadays.
okay,
Just down.
we're
It's
gonna
a shame.
this program is just not. Yeah,
I've derailed the
it's just
conversation.
not set
But you know what?
for
You know
that.
what?
So
I did derail it, but when the people that know and the towel come in, they derail too. It's like Jesus almost. But remember, way no way, brother, and keep it
I'll check it
going.
out, man. I'll check it out.
I don't need you to check it out. I just want you to do the right thing and follow your energy. If you're noticing that people are being treated unfair, and you look in your number, you start seeing undeleted or deleted followers, that means that they're removing people, you know, from the app.
Yep.
And I just like for people in
Yeah,
these new metaverses.
I haven't discovered
It's a
any of
very
that.
what's a very strange thing to be happening. I'm an app developer and I'm a tech investor. It's just strange that new people are coming in. We have to be very careful because think about it. You're spreading this knowledge, and these people that are listening to you, they're not actually even listening to you. You could actually be talking on this app and nobody could be there because they just count who comes in the room. They don't count who stays in the room, which is
I'm
really
well
weird.
aware of that.
But that's a deceptive practice. I used to do it in one of my apps because it makes people like one guy was like, "Oh, I'm up to 300." No, you're up to 300 people coming in and out. You could actually be talking to no
Yeah,
one.
no, I like the fact that I'm talking to you right now is
I'm
plenty
the
fun.
only one that you're certainly talking to, but in the future, you might not even be talking to me because of
But that's the thing.
artificial
Like
intelligence.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let you go.
But look, bro, it was nice talking to you, man. I appreciate the talent. Like I said, I'm a student. Way no way.
Beautiful. Yeah. Way no way. I'll check it out. I really appreciate you coming on, and I just want to come on and just say like, you know, this isn't a platform like this talk is not a place for me to like I understand that every individual on this planet is has their own shit, you know. Dial has her shit. You got your shit. I got my shit, and we all gotta go through our shit. And this program, Tao of the Day, I want everybody to understand that like this is a place for you and I to connect over the Tao. And if you want to come on and give me a number between 1 and 81, and you and I talk about living a life of reason, living a life of love, living a life of connection, we can do that. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you have to offer. And I appreciate what the Tao has done for me. And I want to share that with you. And that's what this is for. And it is true. This is an app. That means it's owned by people. And that means those people are making decisions. And sometimes those people are going to make bad decisions. And if you don't like it, I think that's good. I think we have to look at ourselves when we don't like something someone else is doing. We have to really find that within ourselves that is going to help us grow as individuals. I mean, it is not an easy world to exist with other people in. Receiving is hard, giving is hard, loving is hard. Those are things that we all have to do every day to ourselves and for others. It's something that we're reminded of at every moment. And once again, this is the Tao of the Day, and I'm going to continue reading chapter 20. Really enjoyed having Drake on. Unfortunately, he didn't have a number for me. So I'm going to continue reading 20. Stop thinking and end your problems. Boom! Hey, Drake, stop thinking and end your problems. What's the difference between yes and no? What's the difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. And I feel like, that was very much the stance I was taking when Drake was on, was just like, I alone am expressionless. Like, I don't know what the motivation is of Drake, and I don't know what the motivation is of Dio, and I don't know that Dio probably sees racism the same way Drake does. Sounds like. I mean, I know Dio's from a different culture, so that's very possible. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. This is like, I'm an Enneagram 5, so possessing nothing is a big deal for me. Like doing without, doing with less is a big thing. And I alone drift about like someone without a home. Just kind of being present, like where you are. I'm like an idiot. My mind is so empty. I like those moments. I like the moments that I can say that I can say, ugh, I'm not thinking about anything. And I'm just here. I'm just here right now. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. I do feel that way. I feel like, like even this talk, like Drake said, there's probably nobody listening, right? Like, and so like, yeah, I'm dull, and that's all right. It's not the point isn't for me to be sharp. The point isn't for me to impress you. The point isn't anything like that. It is for me to allow myself to be who I am at this moment. And I don't know. I think I'm losing focus a bit. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I was talking to someone the other day about like all of the different things that I've done in my life and stuff, and I sometimes it feels like I don't have direction. Sometimes it feels like I'm not exactly sure which way it's going. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breast. See, that's the line. I drink from the great mother's breast. I mean, that's the line that throws me off. Obviously, it's not. It's about being nourished, I think. and you're being nourished. This is what it is. Yes, it is about being nourished from the Great Mother, being nourished from the whole, being nourished from the Tao. Oh, Raj is coming back on. So yeah, I am different from ordinary people. I am nourished from the greatness of my surroundings. Is kind of how I would put that. Raj, how you doing?
Hey, I just needed to come back and just to be like, take a
Yeah.
breath,
Thank you,
and
man.
and get back in the game and centered. And I think that we had a little bit of a Tao Te Ching moment where the control of the universe was like, let me show you a little thing. Can we see how we handle this, how we
Yeah.
steer it? So great job, great on you. I learned some things that I didn't know that I wanted to learn, but that was cool. I was like, oh, okay. So that was, thank you, Drake, for
Yeah.
taking taking your shot at what you could and infiltrating. And as far as this line, when you started this line, I was like, oh my God, I have wanted to talk about this. So even though you might have one at a time, man, I had to come back here and I had to
Oh
just
yeah.
say, you know, when I listen to this, okay, what I'm hearing is all of the comparisons that a person goes through of comparing themselves of how different they are. I'm ordinary. Everyone else is so excited. I'm boring. I'm stoic. This. And then it ends with, I'm different.
Right.
I drink from the great mother's breasts. Kind of like my shit don't stink, yo. Like I'm cool. I'm better. I hear it in so many ways. I hear it that somebody is comparing themselves and how bad they are, and how different they are. And then at the end they're going, I'm special. I'm Neo.
Yeah.
I have this special connection to life. And that's really what I'm hearing is the aspects of the Tao, how they may, when they're focused on, may think they're so different than anybody else. But really, you take a step back, it's all one thing. It's all consciousness discovering itself.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's what, like when I came upon this last thing, and it just dawned on me, because, doing this Tao of the Day helps me process what I'm reading a little bit more, because I'm doing it out loud, right? So doing it in my mind is one thing, but like once you start doing it out loud, it has to kind of make sense. And it was like, well, what is drinking from the Great Mother's breast? That's nourishment, right? And then it's like, oh wait, I am being nourished by my surroundings. I'm being nourished by my life, by just living. Like that is the Great Mother.
Mm.
And it's not about the manifestation of that. It's not about what is external. It's not about what we see. It's not about being excited or being sad or being happy or like having purpose. It's about living. And what is most important thing about living is just the life that is being lived. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, this one was really good for me. This one was really good for me. And I love those first lines. Stop thinking and end your problems. Like it really end there. It's like that's so beautiful. Like just stop thinking, end your problems. Like just be present right here, right now.
how was that for you having somebody come in? And I really am very curious what came up for you as it relates to the Tao. What did you feel like, oh shit, something's happening that shouldn't be happening? Or what did you take from that moment? Because you handled it well.
No,
And
thanks.
I'm very curious what was going on for you as a learning lesson for everybody that's listening to this and that's going to listen to the replay.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think that came up is like, okay, so there is a very pointed argument that this person wants to make, and that argument is valid to this person and to whatever he wants to state, and but in my mind I was more in the space of like I don't know what to think or do about that, because I don't have any research other than what you're telling me, and I can't speak about any of it. And so I I will give you your time as it's denoted, because I want to get to a place where you can engage in this program, which is picking a number. And he could have very easily just said, okay, give me 18 and we can talk about 18, and maybe we can turn 18 into a conversation around what he wants to talk about. But he was insistent on doing it his way, and because this is my platform, I mean, I was cool with him talking, but there was a point that I was like, you know what? I'm done listening. And when I was done listening energetically, that's when I started to just kind of like turn the screw to be like, okay, this is going to end, and you either have to engage or step away.
Well, by the design of this app, the person who started the room can essentially end the conversation, right?
Right. Like
And
I had that page open, ready to end it early in the
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. So I think that's fair, and at the same time, there was an allowance of what's coming through this, so you could see, did you want to let it be more, or and when I felt into it, I felt into the person had valid feelings. The space was not the space that was intended for that conversation. And so it was boundaries, on display, right? The setting of boundaries
Yeah.
and handling it with respect. And I think that person's issues, I think, are all valid and that need to be addressed in some other format. And it is funny though that the founder's name is Deo, like, or it's like it looks pretty close to Tao of the Day, So
Right. Yeah.
if you're dyslexic or something, you're looking at it fast. You're like, whoa, what's going on? Who's talking about the founder here?
Right. No, and I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that at all. I was just kind of like, I like his question of what do I think about Dave. I was just like, like I've talked to her a couple times. I don't know, like what's up, like what. That's not what this is about. So it kind of took me by surprise. But again, like I can let him talk about what he needs to talk about. For a time, I don't have any I don't have any idea what he's referencing. So I mean, so I can't speak on it.
Well,
But
so when somebody's referencing something that's very challenging, it's one thing for them to say, I'm having a concern and I need some assistance in how to address this, and the other one is coming at it with like maybe some level of like, this person's a problem. Do you want it? Would you support them? And it's like, whoa, wait, hold on.
yeah,
You're asking me to say something pretty bold right now, and I
yeah,
don't know
he
all the
doesn't even know if
facts.
I'm a racist. Like he has no idea what my affiliations are. Like, I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he's heard me before, but I mean, like, he doesn't know. Like, he's coming on to this Dow talk, and I don't know that I've ever engaged with him. I don't think I've ever engaged with him before on this app. So I can't say, and why, what is, his questions, I think, were just like not really not constructed in a way that could yield a conversation that was healthy.
Yeah, when he started talking about his own app too, then I was like, wait a second, hold on.
Right.
Is this marketing of his app, and
It's
that's
funny. He
when
said it's not an app you can remember, and I know it had Yoda in it.
yeah,
And but I don't really remember the title of the app. So like
he's right.
it was all I remember is like Yoda. He's like, you can't forget it, and I was like, well, I remember Yoda, but I don't remember. But I should have wrote
And
it down, I guess.
no, it's cool. I think the brother is probably, he had 0 followers, so it looks like he might have just reopened his account. He's probably trying to get his voice. Look, people go through different situations, different stresses happening in their life, and
Oh yeah,
they need a place to express. So all good, more
yeah. I
love,
have no problem with him coming on, but I had to
Yeah,
cut it. I had to cut it at some point. Like I
yeah.
thought I gave him plenty of time.
And it's possible you're drinking from the great mother's breast in that moment, and the mother's telling you, "Hey, Martin, it's time. It's
Yep.
time to step up, bro. Because
Yeah.
this is your show, bro, and you got
Yeah.
listeners." And when you said there's nobody listening, I was like, bro, I got to jump back in and just tell you, no, there are people listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening. So guess what? You're not by yourself.
Well, I believe that, but I also have to embrace the idea that nobody's listening, and that's okay, because that's what this Tao is saying. What's the difference between yes and no? What's the difference between success and failure? If I want to measure my success by saying X number of people are listening right now, right? Then all of a sudden I'm putting it out there as if the manifestation is important. But the thing is my life is the thing that's important. And doing this and being present with this at this moment, regardless of how many people are listening. That is what's important, because the message and my life and what I do and how I do it, and that I step up to the plate every day of my life, and I challenge myself to continue growing, and I challenge myself to continue being who I am at this moment. Who I'm going to be tomorrow is going to be someone different because of what I'm doing today. Who I am going to be tomorrow is going to be different because I challenge myself to receive more. I challenge myself to drink more from the mother's breast. I challenge myself more to not be in the parade, not sit there and try and grin like an idiot, but like be there and be present with this moment right now, with who I am, regardless of how many people are supporting that.
It's a permission to, as Steve Jobs, right? And what does he say? I don't even know the word, right? But it's like be different, be unique. I don't know the words he said, but my synonym, my way of receiving it is be weird, be okay with being different, right? Because different is actually the thing that ripples the change that creates the new waves. You know, it's the ripple in the flat, right? In the homogeneous. And there are aspects of my life that I am homogeneous. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I'm different than others in everything. There's plenty of places that I just go with the flow, but it's, hey, there's a permission to be weird, to think different, to be the change, right? To be the shift, and to recognize that we are taking from the great mother's breast. We individually have that connection. So there's no excuse for why we can't step up and make the change ourselves. And even if no one's listening, you're still going to do what you're going to do.
That's
because
right.
You never know where that leads to, whether it's a ripple that leads one person listens to it and changes them, or it changed you and now you're approaching things differently.
Right. And that's why for me, it's like, yes, I am well aware of the fact that, like, yeah, okay, I got 55 people that have been through this talk and flipped through it. And maybe it's just you and I, but maybe it's not. Maybe more people are listening. But if I think about that and if I process it and I start to talk for them, then I'm not being honest with myself. And I'm not, and I keep getting caught up in this, in the differences between success and failure. And here it says, must you value what others value, avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. And that's true. Like, I don't have to value the fact that I have followers. I don't have to value the fact that like all of these things are, like the same as, like as everybody else. And I don't have to look at it all the same, because I'm not the same. I'm different. But you are too. Each of us individually have a path. And it's all very different from everybody else's. And that's what the Tao, I think, is expressing, is like, you have to follow your unique path. And you're going to find that the world is going to align for you.
Well said, brother. Thank you.
Oh, man. Look at you and me, like talking for 30 minutes.
Hey.
Love it. Raj, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I do the Tao of the Day every Monday through Friday in the mornings, like usually not at the same time, but in the mornings, Central Time. So
thank you so much for doing this, and just for your contribution to, first and foremost, to yourself and to everyone that gets to listen in on this and participate. Just want to say thank you so much. This was really enlivening and enlightening, and just, yeah, man, keep up the great work.
Well, and let me express my best wishes for you and your family and your son and everything that's going on right now in your life. And may you have the strength to face that as it presents itself.
Thank you, brother. All the best.
Okay, I want to thank Raj. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. This once again is I'm going to give you guys 1 minute. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute. Anybody want to come up and talk about the DAO? Anybody have a number they want to choose? Anybody want to just come on and be present with me for a moment? Number between 1 and 81, and we can talk about the DAO. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. This is a Recover Yourself production. I'm your host, Martin John. I'm always on here talking about recovery, talking about things around the idea of recovering yourself. And I want each and every one of you to recover yourself, because our world will be better when you can be you completely, not living under the influence of other people, places, things, ideas, substance, behaviors. I want to thank you again for listening to the Tao Te Ching with me, or chatting with me about the Tao Te Ching. Raj, great talking with you. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.